Lee, thanks for joining us. 2-0 win today over Yeading United in the first round of the FA Trophy. Your thoughts? Fully deserved win?
Yeah, I thought we were good today. Maybe good in a different way from what we've been lately. I've been really pleased with how we've played lately. Not always been pleased with the results, but good draw last week, albeit we should have won. Good win in the week, and I thought we could back that up today. Listen, you know, Yeading is always going to be a tough game. They're one of the best sides in the league. We probably got them at a good time. I know they've got a few injuries. Having said that, so have we. So it does even itself out a little bit. And I thought first off, we were probably valued for the lead at half time. They probably had a bit more possession than I would have wanted, but I felt that we did look dangerous on the break. But I thought we looked a little bit leggy first half. And that's probably, as we were just saying, it's probably after Wednesday night's game. Getting in, by the time we got back, stuck on the motorway, after that's got in at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and then got 1 day's recovery and you're playing again. And I thought it was times when we were a little bit slow on the ball, but I think that was probably a catch up from that. But I felt we looked comfortable, and then at 1-0, we hope we start to learn the lessons that we've learned in other games lately. That if it stays 1-0, try and keep it like that. But if we do get the second goal, let's make sure we manage the game properly. We haven't done that lately. Listen, I probably didn't manage it correctly last week. The changes didn't work, albeit they didn't cost us the goals. But we spoke to the boys about that, is that when we do take the lead, is trying to manage it, because we are a young side, we are a little bit naive at times, and we are susceptible to set pieces and bigger sides at times. But second half, I felt we always looked to threat on the break, and but I felt that we would need that second goal, and obviously Montel come up with it.
Yeah, two good goals today. So obviously George, trademark for that is obviously be on the highlights. Trademark George Moore goal. He does what he does when someone backs off from 20-25 yards, and then a really clever ball from him for the second goal. He kind of curled it round the last defender for obviously Montel, and good for him to get another goal. I think he got one at Murford, didn't he, Reece?
Yeah,
so he's got a few recently.
Yeah, it was good because George's first goal, I thought it was a good move in the first place. Unbelievable finish. And all of a sudden he's gone from not scoring, he's got 3 and 3, he's got himself going, which is good because he's so important to us. And Montel, it's funny how football is, a couple of weeks ago didn't make the squad. I know he had doubts about that, but tried to explain to him why, which was I think the Swindon game, and then he came in at Merthyr and started, and now he started 3, and he bagged himself a couple of goals, which is the only thing you can ask of him. He's done well today, and he's got the second goal, which was really, really important. And I think with Huey out injured as well, Monty's obviously a very different type of player, and we do need him to hold the ball up. And he did it very well Tuesday night, and I thought he did it well today. I thought he was causing some problems. Got in the first half where they could potentially have been down to 10 men early doors when he went through, but apparently shirt pulling was allowed today.
What was strange about, again, that'll be on the highlights, I suspect, that strange about that incident obviously was perhaps the ref was right to play the advantage, because there was one to be had, but obviously it was there was one in the league game here, and obviously at the other end when James Ewington got pulled back, very similar. But today the ref let it go, no advantage came with it, he pulled it back, so right decision, but then, as you said, no card, it's a real blatant circle.
I'm not going to stand here and moan about the referee, but I don't want to just moan sometimes when you lose because of a refereeing decision. We won today, but they're not difficult decisions. This thing was all right. The ref, I didn't have an issue with him in general, but if we go on and score from that break, or we go on and we get a corner, then the rules are he doesn't put it back. But the bloke, the centre half did it 3 or 4 times before he gets a yellow card, and they could easily have seen a red second half as well when it all kicked off. But listen, it probably could have been a couple of reds in there, to be fair, probably from either side with what was going on. But certainly in fairness, he probably dealt with that all right. But it was, in general, I thought it was a good performance. I thought we ground it out second half, and I think maybe that was a result that 2 or 3 weeks ago we might not have done. And hopefully they'll start to learn from the games we have thrown away, because we should be standing with a lot more points than we've currently got. And but I couldn't fault them today. The effort was there. I thought we looked to threat, and considering we're carrying a lot of injuries today as well, as I said, I know Hayes had a few out today, and probably their best player in midfield was cup tied as well, Reece Cole. But we've picked up even more knocks today, and we just need a little bit of a rest really before we go into next week. But in general, I thought it was a good solid win and a clean sheet. Hopefully give the boys at the back bit more confidence.
And good to progress, obviously, just into FA Trophy, big competition, prize money for the club into the next round. Who knows what sort of, obviously, all eyes on the draw is. Who we get next? Just good to progress in general.
I think in the time I've been here, probably my worst record in any competition has been the trophy. The furthest we got, we might even got a bye. I think it was just one of them competitions we never seem to have done particularly well in, but obviously we got through a couple now, which financially is good. It brings a little bit of money, and we didn't get any out of the FA Cup this year, so that's nice. And but most important thing for me is we want to get on a run, which we started to a little bit. We're not going to get ahead of ourselves. It's one game today, but we need to get ourselves on a run, and whether that's cup games or league games, getting that habit, because we was in a habit before losing games. We need to get in a habit now of not losing them, and I think with what we're slowly putting together here, player-wise, and with who's to come back, and hopefully 2 signings coming in next week, will make us a little bit stronger and give us a chance. But it would be great to have a run in the trophy. Like you say, it would be nice if we could get a big club in the draw. On the flip side of it, it'd be nice to get someone maybe lower or in the same level. It gives you the chance to progress, and who knows where that'll take you. But all in all, the most important thing today was the performance and winning the game, and I thought they did that well today.
Well, we haven't spoken to you. Obviously, we've had 3 away games in the last week or so we haven't spoken to you for a while. And you've touched upon it there a little bit about in those 3 away games. Obviously, you're really happy with how the team played, but they ended up with 4 points out of 9 when you perhaps thought it maybe could have potentially been 6 or 7. Is that a fair assessment? And today, did you think lessons were learnt from those games in terms of how the team managed it at 2-0 with 15-20 minutes to go?
Yeah, definitely. None games you talk about should have had 9 points, 100%. But don't mean anything because we didn't get 9 points. Some of those decisions would have been down to me, and I'll take that. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But sometimes your decisions are affected by the size of your squad and who you can put on, who you can't put on, and who can play where. So we've not been helped at times, but
you're talking about the size of the squad there, and obviously who can play where at the moment. Just a quick word on obviously the last 2 today and during the week at Gosport. Samuel has moved, usually obviously a right back. He's covered a centre back in recent weeks as well, but he's been playing centre midfield today and during the week at Gosport. Just a quick word on that and how he's done.
Well, Gosport was a last minute decision. Unfortunately, Michael Bryan's other half had been taken ill during the day, so he couldn't make the game, but I didn't know that till 3:30. So then it was a decision of what we thought we could put the strongest side out and how we could do it. And he's a good enough player to play in midfield. There's no issue with that. So he's got a good foot in brain. Playing in there, maybe as a holder, he's not that million miles different from a fullback to a certain extent. So no, he was good in there the other night. I thought once he got himself going today, I thought he was good. I thought he had a really good second half in there. And but week in, week out, you won't keep getting away with playing people out of position. You'll get away with it for a couple of games, and there's a bit of a novelty sometimes with a player playing out of position. But week in, week out, we need to get people back playing in their areas. But when you look at today, Preds has played the last 2 games and really struggled. Listen, he's been brilliant, but he's really struggled with his knee. We're trying to manage that. We've still got JT out. Obviously, Ian Rand's gone off to Billericay, so that's a big loss for us as well. You've got James Ewington out injured, you've got Sherrell out injured, you've got Joe Luau out injured. They're all good players. We don't have a big enough squad to cover that. So when we have struggled in some of them games, some of that's been we've run out of puff a little bit because we've not been able to make the changes I wanted to make, and that's no disrespect to the subs, but they don't play in areas that I wanted to change. It's made it difficult, and as I say, last week the changes might have looked a bit strange, albeit that wasn't why we drew the game. We gave away 2 silly goals last week. But if you were making like-for-like changes, I don't think that would probably happen in hindsight. So whether you win or lose, you always learn more out of a loss, that's for sure. And I think a couple of the losses recently and a couple of the draws have really hurt the players because we should have won them games. And you talk to them afterwards about it, and hopefully they're taking it on board. And I think they did Wednesday at Gosport because the referee couldn't wait to get back in it on Wednesday. And then we fortunately scored straight away afterwards and killed the game off. And today we've remained pretty comfortable at 2-0, albeit they've still got good players in there that can nick a goal or a set piece was worrying me, but they managed to hold them, and they didn't make silly mistakes or decisions. No penalties today, which is a first for a long time for us. But for us to do all right and pick ourselves up the league and hopefully go a little bit further in the cup, they've got to keep doing that.
Steve, thanks again for your time. Well done again for today, and good luck again. I think we're away at Yates next league game. Next weekend.
Yeading next week, that's a big game for us now. They just had a change of manager, change of players, which sometimes is a bit strange on the player side. It's just lost the manager because you don't know what you're going to get from that. But we've got to continue to play the way we're playing. We're playing well, but we've got to make sure we kill games off when we're playing well, and that's a big game for us next week because under no illusions it's so tight down the bottom. If you lose two, you're back in it. If you win two, you're sort of looking the other way, and we won't take for granted that we've won a couple now, and the focus next week will be going. It's going to be a hard game. I expect a reaction out of them. They'll probably sign 2 or 3 new players. I don't think they played today. They've got no midweek game, so you know it's going to be a test going there, and we'll have to be bang on it to get something out of the game.
Cheers, Steve. Thanks for your time.
No worries. Cheers, thanks.